This is the Dollemore Daily, and I'm Jesse Dollemore.
Hey everybody, I am back. I got sick on Sunday. Monday was chills and fever. I have tested negative for COVID the entire time, still testing negative for COVID. So I don't know, maybe just the first time I've been sick outside of having COVID a couple months ago, inside of 2 years and change. But I'm back. I appreciate your patience, and let's get to this. Donald Trump is a colossally, historically stupid person in many, many ways. And one of the ways culminated in his putting on display just how little he knows about American history, American civics, and specifically the job of President of the United States. Donald Trump believes he has absolute immunity from all claims. Donald Trump has said many times he has absolute power granted to him by Article 2 of the Constitution, which is just the article that outlines the powers of the executive branch. It doesn't give him absolute anything. There are no absolutes under our Constitution. And he is being told right now by a federal judge, in absolute terms, that he absolutely does not have absolute immunity from claims for crimes that he committed while President of the United States. There's a lawsuit, several lawsuits moving forward, where police officers have sued Donald Trump, some under the Ku Klux Klan Act, for the insurrection. And a judge is now allowing those claims to move forward. He's going to appeal, and it is going to fall in a jurisdiction that is not good for Donald Trump, but we'll get to that. NBC News, this article, judge dismisses Trump's immunity claim in January 6 lawsuits. U.S. District Judge Amit Mehta denied the former president's bid, the ex-president's bid, to block 3 lawsuits brought by Capitol police officers who blame him for their injuries in the Capitol riot. A federal judge on Tuesday denied former president, again, ex-president Donald Trump's bid to dismiss 3 lawsuits brought by police officers injured in the January 6 riot, rejecting his assertion that he is, quote unquote, absolutely immune from the claims. And a federal district judge says differently. The lawsuits, brought on behalf of 4 U.S. Capitol police officers, seek to hold Donald Trump liable for emotional and physical injuries they sustained when a pro-Trump mob stormed the Capitol and disrupted the electoral vote count. A pro-Trump mob that was dispatched to the Capitol by Donald Trump. We're going to march up there. I'm going to be with you. We've all seen the evidence that led to the January 6th speeches and following insurrection. We've all seen the testimony of the January 6th House Select Committee and the fact that he knew they were armed. He wanted them to go up there to flex their muscle, to ensure that the vote count, the certification of Congress, the constitutionally mandated role of Congress in the election, was to be delayed, so they could send it back to the states and then have another slate of electors, the fake electors, sent in their stead. This was the criminal conspiracy, the seditious conspiracy that was entered into. And in the process, hundreds of officers were injured. Some lost fingers. Some lost their lives. Quote, in nearly identical worded motions, President Trump has moved to dismiss all 3 actions on one ground. He is absolutely immune from suit because the acts complained of fall within the outer perimeter of his presidential responsibilities, U.S. District Judge Amit Mehta wrote in his brief ruling. The judge noted that he had rejected similar arguments by Trump in other January 6 lawsuits this year. The court does so again, Mehta wrote. The earlier ruling held that Trump's alleged actions in provoking the riot entirely concerned his efforts to remain in office for a second term and did not fall within the outer perimeter of a president's official responsibilities, a finding Meta reiterated on Tuesday. You see, Donald Trump is trying to contend that his speech at the Ellipse, the inciting incident, the moment of him fomenting the crowd to violence, was part of regular presidential duties. Clearly, that is false. Clearly, that is either a lie on Donald Trump's part, or he's just so daft. He's such a mush-brained moron that he thinks that that's part of what a president does. Honestly, it could be either one. Neither one of them, though, extricates him from culpability. He absolutely incited an insurrection, an attempted overthrow of our government in order that he stay in power, even though he lost by 7 million plus votes to Uncle Joe Biden. Sleepy Joe Biden, he couldn't even beat. And now he's being sued by multiple parties. There's Congressman Adam Schiff. Benny Thompson also has a lawsuit against him, but also police officers. You know, the Back the Blue party, the Law and Order party, the Blue Lives Matter party has police officers suing their former president, their ex-president, because they were injured at the hands of the Blue Lives Matter party crowd. You're not going to hear that on the Fox News. You're not going to hear that on the OAN, which is barely a network. It's hanging on by a thread now. And you're not going to hear that on Newsmax. Now, you might not even really hear that elsewhere, but you will hear it here. I'd love to know what you think. Let's talk about this. You can call, leave me a brief voicemail, 714-576-4054. Of course, you can email me daily at dollemore.com. I'd love to hear from you. You can also mix it up in the comments. We can, even if you disagree, we can disagree agreeably. Some of us can. I'd love to hear from you there too. And follow me on social media. I'm on Instagram and Twitter and TikTok at Dollemore on all of those venues. If, on the other hand, I do something for you that you find value in, that would prompt you, that would foment action from you, not to violence, but to support, you can click the join button below this video, become a channel member for as little as $1.99 a month. Join button right here. Or you can go over to patreon.com/IDoubtIt podcast. Both those are great ways to help support what I do here. I know it says I Doubt It podcast, but that supports the podcast and here. It's all one bucket, one big soup of political commentary and analysis. And if you haven't subscribed to the podcast, you should. I mean, if you're not averse to the F word and more if you think I'm radical and I rage here on YouTube, if that's too much for you, if you're barely hanging on by a thread now, maybe don't check out the podcast. I'm a little more aggressive there. Anyway, I love you guys. I appreciate you very much. I'll see you next time. Until I do, be genuine. Take care of one another.